Alright, hello, good morning everyone. Welcome back to the show. I'm your charming self-proclaimed yet still humble host, Mukluk. Today, we are jumping back into our second playthrough of Warhammer 40k Road Trader. I have some serious bed hair right now. I thought I had it all combed into submission, but no, I did not. Well, we are back for our second playthrough of Warhammer 40k Road Trader. Our first playthrough was a very long time ago, and we did it on hard mode at the time. Everything was extremely bullet spongy. This time, we're going through it on daring difficulty, which is one step lower, but still above normal. And we are going through it again because they have released multiple DLCs, and we would like to enjoy those DLCs. So, that's where we're at right now. Let's get started. Last time, we had just gotten Cassia to join the team, and we need to figure out what we're going to do with her. Now, Cassia is possibly one of the most overpowered characters. Well, with my knowledge of the game that is a bit out of date, Cassia and maybe Argento were the most OP characters. Now, I'm not so sure, but let's see. Fellowship, Willpower. I think we go Willpower for her. Let me go back to... Yeah, cancel that. Let me look at some of her stuff. Bonus Willpower Resistance Test. So that's Willpower. Just increase the characteristics by 14 for one round. Voice of Command. Fellowship. Okay, I think we go Willpower. Alright, Willpower, and then what is this? Choose a common talent. Let's see. Reduce Veil Degradation. That's good. Heal 6 wounds at the beginning of every turn. An additional 1 wound for every Navigator talent taken. The healing increases by 1 for every creature killed between Navigator's turns. Okay, so that gives her regeneration, essentially. Mastery of Time. Whenever an ally in combat gains an extra turn, the Navigator gains a stacking 5 bonus to Willpower until the end of combat, stacks up to 5 times. Aha! This didn't used to have a cap. You see how it says up to a maximum of 25 Willpower? That used to just go forever. That was one of the things that made her busted. Okay. I have Oblivion. Ebb and Flow. Every even turn, the Navigator gains additional action point. Every odd, they gain plus 20 Perception. Enemies damaged by the Navigator take 10% additional damage. This is Navigator Power. There is some really cool stuff in here. Course Untraveled. Whenever the Navigator uses a Navigator power that has not been used this combat, the Navigator gets plus 2 Perception until the end of combat. Unblinking Stare. Undying Sea of Souls. When under the effect of any Navigator power, enemies have their armor reduced by 11. Under my protection, allies targeted by Navigator abilities gain 5 resistance tests against warp effects until the end of combat. Veil of Protection. Allies that are targeted by Navigator powers gain plus 10% armor. This armor is reduced by the amount of Veil Degradation to a minimum of 0% and increased by the infusing parameter of the currently equipped staff. Alright, so I don't see anything here that scales infinitely how it used to. Let's get the Veil Degradation one, since we've got her in the team. Alright, so she has leveled up. Let's look at her equipment. Let's see what we've got here. So, she currently has Staff of House Orcelio, 4 to 8 damage. Enemies targeted by the Navigator powers suffer a -5 penalty to all stats until the end of the Navigator's next turn. Okay. And what is that? That is a Psychic Staff. And what is this one? Staff of Orcelio Guardian. Allies targeted by Navigator powers gain a +5 bonus to all characteristics till the end of the Navigator's next turn. Bonus stacks and is prolonged until the Navigator's next turn every time it stacks. Stacks and is prolonged every time it stacks. Muck, how do you like your steak cooked? Insert Mukluk Cats emote. Mukluk Eats emote. Medium? Medium. Let's see, castigating. That's the same as what she's got right now. Okay. Alright. Armor. We've got 2 armored body gloves. Is that an upgrade for what he's got? No. No. That's what she's already wearing. Not an upgrade. Okay, so no, we're fine in that. All right, what is this? Every time the wearer deals damage, the target's weapon skill and ballistic skill is reduced by -5 for 2 rounds, stacks up to 6 times. I guess we could put that on her for now. Plus 5% to hit, 3% to crit. And these give plus 3 logic. Put that on her for now. Okay. Alright. Think we've got all of that. Data crypt connector. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, we did that. Alright, think we're done here. So back to the void ship. So we've got a navigator now. And we're off to the next thing. Now, I need to make myself be more dogmatic. We said on this run we were going to do something we didn't do last time, and last time we were mostly iconoclast, which is like for the people. And the other two options are dogmatic, which is like letter of the law no matter what, for the Emperor. And the other option was heretical. And when I wanted to play the new class, which was the Arbites, and people were like, it wouldn't make sense for an Arbites to be heretical. So we're like, all right, we'll do dogmatic. But dogmatic, it makes me feel bad. It's like someone like does something bad, and I'm like, it's like execute them immediately, you know? And I have to fight my own conscience for that. All right. Vox Master, Lord Captain, Lady Navigator, welcome aboard. The Sanctum Navis has been prepared for the communion ritual, but if the Lady Navigator wishes to rest in her quarters first... Cassia sharply raises her hand in protest, but then closes it around the glowing stone in her throat. A pained grimace twists her uncanny features. I first wish to speak with the rogue trader. Leave us. Of course. When you're ready for the ritual, please let me know. Cassia sweeps her pensive gaze over Vigdis, then, lowering her lashes slightly, turns to you. What did you wish to speak about? After a few seconds' hesitation, Cassia lets out a small exhale and then raises her pointed chin. I have not yet thanked you for saving me on the station. My thoughts were clouded with so much mournful ash when Theobald's heart stopped, yet you acted honorably and did not exploit me in my wretched position, and for that I am immeasurably grateful. I'm also deeply grateful you saved my servants, especially my valet. Uwe served on the station for more than 5 years, much longer than any who preceded him. He knows how to properly attend to me during journeys through the Immaterium and what to serve me for breakfast. His presence envelops me in a cloak of amber. However, I am troubled by that stone you implanted inside me according to Felix's instructions. I cannot remove it or tear it out or cut it out. I cannot even touch it. It is suffocating me, weighing me down as though my heart was locked in gray-blue ice. I can but hope that it will not be a hindrance when I am guiding the ship through the Sea of Souls. But now, Cassia throws back her shoulders, I am ready to go to the Sanctum Navis and perform the sacred rite. I require brushes, canvas, and of the best paints you have on board, but no red. Tell me more about what the ritual entails. I doubt the uninitiated could understand the mysteries of navigation, but I shall try to explain the essence of it. I must merge my mind and will with the machine spirit of the ship so that I become one with the vessel. Cassia lifts a lock of hair from the back of her neck, revealing gilded implant ports. After that, I use the House Orcelio ritual, which I am loath to reveal to you, to free my mind of all errant thoughts. And then it is time to open my third eye and peer into the depths of the warp itself. Among the nightmarish visions, mirages, and creatures of the abyss, only the light of the Emperor is the truth that will lead me from star to star, from system to system. Oh, the light. The guiding thread, so fine it can slip from one's grasp at any moment. Cassia unfurls her hand as though dropping something. But you have nothing to worry about. The navigators of House Orcelio never lose their course. I shall ensure all necessary supplies are delivered to the Sanctum Navis. Cassia nods and thanks. I shall take my leave of you for the duration of the rite. I ask that you do not follow me. Few can survive the gaze of my warp eye when it is opened. Alright. Will you romance best girl again? I don't know. Can a dogmatic person do that? Because she's a mutant. Lord Captain, I will oversee the open channel between the Lady Navigator and the bridge, and may the Emperor's light help us all. Several minutes pass before Cassia's wavering voice interrupts the low crackle of the Vox. Make ready. Initiating communion ritual. Come here, Uwe. The exultant ring of metal freed from its scabbard. The low sob of the servant. The rhythmic drip of liquid on canvas. The faint whisper of the brush. Go. Footsteps hurrying away. I see violet vortexes, lashing an ocean with a million flails, and umber shadows spinning over the surface in a fiery dance. A storm rising above foaming waters. Armadas drowning in fog. The path from one end to another cannot be seen. And here, beyond the wall of glass, a daughter forsaken by her father yearns for her brother. And the sun's pale disk goes in tireless pursuit. Of her? No, of me. Its frozen rays lie that spring is here. The light is deadened. The great ruler is gone. Are you saying heresy on my Vox channels? The Vox Master recoils at Cassia's words and accidentally snaps one of the cogitator levers. The panels beneath her fingers emit spark, and the Vox caster falls silently. She quickly flips a series of switches and bows guiltily. My abject apologies for cutting off the broadcast, Lord Captain. I've never before heard the warp speaking through a navigator before. The connection is restored now. It won't happen again. Let's see. Navigator is an important part of Imperium, not heretical mutant. I guess we'll see. Alright. We're supposed to be mean. Vox Master, see to it you receive 5 lashes for the show of clumsiness. What is happening to Cassia? You feel a sharp jolt and the ship trembles like a wounded creature. The Vox officers report that lumens have gone out across all decks and that the captain's bridge is the only place that has not been plunged into darkness. Lord Captain, the engine seers report that the Lady Navigator's ritual has agitated machine spirits all over the vessel. It is no cause for great concern, but we cannot assess the damage until the ritual is over. Damage taken, Bodie McBoatface 9. Rogue Trader, I fear of unfortunate news. Endless blackness has spread across the canvas, dividing what should be the whole in two, and my sight cannot glimpse the light of the Emperor as clearly as before. I cannot turn around. My brush only draws me onward. The way is blocked. You hear a heavy exhale, rustling fabric and metallic clicking. By the Emperor's grace, the ritual was successful. Your vessel's temperament presented a challenge. Its cold steel did not allow me to breathe freely even for a second. It was as if the depths of the ship housed not only machine spirits, but something other. Now I will retreat to my chambers to recover my strength. Send for me if you have need of me. Vox Master Vigdis. Lord Captain, congratulations on acquiring a navigator. Please spare me a few moments of your time, as there are several matters that require your attention. First of all, I wish to report on the condition of the station Urak 5. Had you opted to begin your visit to the Rykad system with a different destination, the station could have become critically unstable. Fortunately, the decision to immediately visit the representatives of the Navis Nobilite bought us precious time. We can either focus our efforts on disassembling the station and procuring technological components for our own vessel, or attempt to save as many valuables as we can. Gather components that may be of use. As you command, Lord Captain. You receive 3 scrap containers. Nice tooltip. Okay. Continue. With your permission, I would also like to remind you that we are still looking for Engine Seer Prime. Both the vessel and its machine spirits are in desperate need of oversight by an experienced tech priest. We are also missing some crew, and much more importantly, we have not yet located Heinrichs von Kalox, the right hand of the Lord Inquisitor. Now we know for certain he was not at Urek 5, so we should keep this in mind when making any future plans. Thank you, Vigdis. This will be all for now. As it pleases you, Lord Captain. Okay. So we're here. That's the Engine Seer, right? New Blood, Machine Spirit Keeper, and what's this one? The Prison Planet. Okay. Does this game have Pickpocket? Does it have Pickpocket? No, it does not have Pickpocket. Sorry to disappoint. It does not. Alright, so he leveled up, and we can pick a new thing. We got Endure already. That's melee, sworn enemy. break through. Gain slash. Forceful strike. I think we do taunt. And then we pick a new thing. Athletics, carouse, coercion. Do athletics. Alright. Okay, so he was going melee DPS basically. Let's see, reckless strike, next melee attack, plus 20 armor pen, plus 8 damage, ignores 12% of the target's parry. Every enemy who survives an attack, enhances ability, will attack the warrior in return. Gains the slash ability with 1 charge for this round. Slash cannot be used in the same round as charge. Dashes through an enemy to the cell on the enemy's opposite side and makes a melee attack with half damage. Forceful strike. Let's try breakthrough, I guess. Okay. Alright, now the Psyker. Okay, so her options are completely different. When you're full health, you do more damage. Exposed weakness causes 0 AP. Whenever you trigger an exploit on an enemy, the operative gains +1 damage and +2% armor pin until the end of combat. Only applies to the first strike or project on a burst attack stacks. That's pretty cool. Infinitely stacking buff. If the target of analyzed enemies 2 or more exploits... At the start of the ops turn, the enemy with the largest number of exploits receives an additional stack. If 2 or more enemies are tied for the largest number, one of those enemies chosen at random. Okay, that automatic exploit thing seems really good. What else do we have? Unnatural luck. Oh my god. If this was a pen and paper game, this would be such a pain to keep track of. Every 9th successful dodge or parry by the Psyker and their allies grants the Psyker +2 AP on the next turn. Every 9th. Let's see. Aftershock. Let's see. Every time the Psyker does mental damage from any target other than Aftershock, the target suffers half as much mental damage at the end of their next turn. At the end of their next turn. Let's see, weak hearts, warp mines. Every 6th use of a psychic power by the Psyker, all enemies gain a stacking -5 penalty to all stats to the end of combat. Ooh, that's awesome. The first time in combat, then an ally becomes target psychic. Training Psychic on perils of the warp for the first time each turn. Psychic Barrage. Increase range. Okay. And how do you... When do you get this? Character level 9. Okay. Let's increase her range. And then I think we're working on a willpower. Alright. The Adeptus Sororitas. Okay, I think ballistic skill. And what are our options here? Controlled shot. Let's see. Dash. Immediately dash in the selected direction. Spending all movement. Does not provoke attack of opportunity. Allows you to dash through allies and enemies, but does not allow you to dash through obstacles. Concentrated fire. Entrench. Spend all AP to gain cover efficiency. Rapid fire. Let's do entrench. Alright, and the Lady Navigator. Let's see. Focus, inspire courage. Personal oversight. Still resolve. Okay, let's get the regeneration. And willpower. Okay. Alright. Tap quick save here. Let's see, how do we... Let's see, repair the ship. Yes. Alright. And let's head to Rykad Minoris, which I believe is where we get our tech priest, so we have another character to play. Vigdis. Lord Captain, there is some commotion on the officer's deck. The Lady Navigator has left her quarters and is currently in the wardroom, where uninitiated crew members are shunning her in terror. Perhaps you should find out what has brought Cassia to the deck. She has been on the ship for less than a day and is already causing problems.
Lord Captain, my apologies. I did not notice your entrance.
Point at the book in Cassia's hands. I see you are fond of reading.
Oh, this. I found this fascinating read on one of the shelves. And I must say, it has caught my eye. Its every chapter is written in verse. I find it so beautiful and enrapturing.
Having my Arbites do attack of opportunity with a shotgun is fine. Dude, I thought about that, and I was just like, that could go so poorly. Like, some enemy dives past you, you turn into attack of opportunity with a shotgun, blast half of your own team. Like, that seems like something that could just go very poorly.
Urak 5 had a vast archive of its own, of course. Although, most of the works within had to do with scholarly disciplines of some sort or another. Only in my sparse moments of respite was I allowed to escape into the pages of more embellished works.
The events that took place on Urak 5 must have shaken you greatly. Are you well?
One should not underestimate the navigators of House Orselio, Lord Captain. Like a shawl of pale smoke, a faint malaise hangs upon my shoulders. But it will not be the slightest hindrance to my duty to humanity, and my duty to you.
Rogue Trader was originally a pen and paper game and is not as complex as this. Gotcha. Gotcha. Your only attendant is your valet from Urak 5. Do my servants not measure up to your standards?
No. It is not that at all, Lord Captain. It is just that Uwe is quite capable of carrying out his duties by himself. He is well accustomed to my whims and preferences.
Perception test succeeded. Cassia cringes ever so slightly, adjusts the adornment on her forehead, then awkwardly tries to hide her clawed fingers in the folds of her clothes. The unnatural appearance of navigators often becomes the topic of gossip among lowly servants and officers alike. It is unsurprising, then, that Cassia prefers the company of one who's used to how she looks. I hope you have had ample time to calm yourself and your powers.
There are people on this ship who are far more impulsive and dangerous to others, and far less devoted to the God Emperor than a herald of the Navis nobility. But I did not need your words to see the shades of umber unease that whirl around your subjects whenever I am near. Were I not acquainted with such a reaction, I could have found their behavior and your question just now insulting. Lord Captain, would you kindly explain to me why you are pestering me with these questions? Inquiring about my mood and my needs, showing an interest in the books I am enjoying. You are behaving as if you possessed a shred of fellow feeling for one such as I.
Fellow feeling.
I beg your pardon, Lord Captain. That was no way for a navigator to conduct herself.
Well, none of this is dogmatic, so I don't have to be a jerk. See, in my head, being dogmatic is like hand in hand with being just like an a-hole. But that's not always the case, apparently. Can you romance Argenta? I don't think you can. Hold on, Rogue Trader, Warhammer 40k romance options. Cassia, Heinrichs, Jay, and Irliet. So this is Cassia. Heinrichs is a guy, so that's for the team. Jay, Irliet is the alien sniper lady. She's way later. Hold, who's Jay? Hold on, Rogue Trader Jay. Oh, she's like the space pirate lady we meet later on. Let's keep our options open, because we romanced Cassia last time. You have nothing to apologize for. Human emotions are natural, be they good or bad, and it is just as natural to share them with others.
Please forgive me. I cannot even understand myself right now. Your words and attention have reminded me of life on the station, of Theobald and Felek. I do not understand. They were merely the keepers of Urak 5. So why do memories of those two make me feel a strange heaviness here? At the same time, I find myself overwhelmed with new excitement and anticipation. At last, I have set foot outside my familiar walls, and into a world that I have only seen before in the pages of books. Your ship alone is a treasure trove of remarkable artifacts and curiosities. And just imagine the things that await beyond, but... my delight must seem childish to you, surely. In your heart, you must be finding all this quite amusing.
I understand what you are going through. My own life was turned upside down not too long ago.
Indeed. I did not know. That is to say, I could not have known, as it is the first time we are speaking in a circumstance so... private. My word, when I found this place, it was so full of officers. Why did they all leave?
Perhaps my people did not wish to disturb you.
Or because my presence offends them. Then I must take my leave as well. I am due to inspect the Sanctum Navis after the communion ritual and prepare the chamber for the upcoming warp jump. Thank you for your company.
You can also romance the Blood Dancer lady from DLC 1. Blood Dancer? I don't even know what that is. But, okay, yeah, I have not met her. Let's see, is there any loot in here? I don't think so. Okay. Let's see. So back to the map. And actually, now that I think about it, with the scraps of lore I know, a few minutes ago I said, can you romance Argenta? And now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, wait, do Adeptus Soror... like, I don't know if Adeptus Sororitas, like the group that she's a part of, I don't know if they even do that or not. Because they're all like, oh, like, I'm for the Emperor, you know, blah, 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 blah. But they talk about him like he's, like, their husband or something. So I'm not even sure if they would marry in the lore. Hold on a sec. Now I gotta Google this. Hold on. Warhammer 40k... do Adeptos Sororitas marry? They do not marry. They are dedicated to the Emperor and their role as warriors and religious figures, which takes precedence over personal relationships. Oh my god, they're Jedi. While not explicitly forbidden from engaging in relationships, their rigorous training, devotion, and duties leave little room for such pursuit.